Hey YouTube, we're doing something a little bit different this week for the Gear Up Show. We're reviewing our own product, the CableKit.
That's right. We've got a new product called the CableKit that we recently launched on Kickstarter. And that's going to be going through July 20th. So if you're seeing this before then, you can head on over to Kickstarter to check it out. But today we're just going to kind of do a deep dive into the design of the product and why we created it and sort of how you might use it and check it out.
So I think the first real question is so why did you make this? What was the pain point that you're trying to get around?
Yeah.
Why?
Right, that's usually the beginning of any good product, is solving some problem that you have in your own life. And for me, I've got like a million of these little USB charging cables sort of floating around. Every product you get comes with one, and they're I got them all over the place, but I never seem to be able to find them when I actually needed to charge either my phone or my devices. Or I would I would find a cable and it would be like micro USB instead of iPhone or whatever. So. I wanted to create something where I could have a few different cables always with me and just be able to charge any of my devices, my phone or USB stuff. But I wanted to make it super easy to carry, so you don't have to think about it, it's just always with you and you kind of have it. So that was kind of the inspiration to it. And
I'm always wrestling with cords and stuff. And especially they're super long, and yet somehow you still misplace them. But iPhone cords especially are like my an albatross around my neck internally, because
I know you're pretty abusive.
I'm very abusive to all my Apple products, but just the cords especially just kind of fall apart on me a lot. It's the number one thing I have to replace, and I think part of that is due to its length. If it's not
and just the junction where the cable comes into the connector part.
Right, that's the flimsiest part.
They're a little.
You know what you're doing, Apple.
Skimpy on that, but they look great. They really do.
So what was the sort of design process like when you decided I need to fix this problem? What's the next step?
So basically, coming up with just brainstorming a bunch of ways on how to solve that. And really what it came down to is making it portable and being able to carry it in different ways. Having done with a bit vault, went on your keychain. And so having that option was a good option. And I knew this was gonna be a little bit smaller, so it's just even easier to carry on your keychain. I kind of have this, as you can see, it really fits.
It nicely
with it. It's easy to carry. So I wanted to have the keychain option. I also thought just having a little clip, you can clip it inside of pockets of bags and stuff like that. Just because a lot of people wouldn't want to carry it on their keychain, so just being able to put it in your bag, clip it to a pocket, almost like a ballpoint pen or something, and so it's just always there. So just multiple options on how to carry it, and then really it's how small can we get it but have it still be functional? Originally I was designing it it came about actually to fit inside the bit light. And then so since we're not doing the bit light, it was gonna fit inside the bit vault, but really that was gonna be such a short cable, it was gonna be too stubby and not really be as useful as it could be. So we sort of rethought the design a little bit just to make it its own standalone little product that's really easy to carry. And so, we sort of ended up with this just little overmold cable, which is just one overmolded piece of silicone rubber. And then it goes in this carry kit, which, as I mentioned, clips in your keychain or it can clip to your bag. And then it also has a place to carry a secondary adapter.
Cool.
So, you can choose your cable. You either get a micro B cable or an iPhone cable, depending on what you use. And then you get a secondary adapter. So whether it's an iPhone adapter or a USB-C, or if you get the iPhone.
So if I carry multiple devices that I need to charge.
So you always kind of have that with you. And so it's really two cables in one, and having the adapter and the small cable makes it small. And the other thing about the cable, since it is that sort of rubber overmold style,
very flexible.
You don't have that problem with the Apple cable where the junction points. Like
right. So you have like a sturdy in point and then a super flexible cord.
It's not going to rip at the strain relief. It's all sort of one piece. But yeah, as you mentioned, it is really flexible. So I wanted it to be bendy enough so when you plug it into something like sort of like one of these maybe wall mounts, you can plug it in that way, bend it up, and then you can rest your phone against the wall. And since it's flexible, it can sort of adjust to how your devices are sitting in different ways, and so they're not going to damage the connectors in your device. So that was another design consideration. So yeah, getting the carry case and the two components was key. And then when I had the carry case, I kind of like had the idea, okay, what else can I fit in here? You know? And so we came up with this little, I was like, oh, there's a perfect spot for one of those SIM card eject tools. And it just like slides right in the case there. It doesn't take up any space, and they're really cheap. So I thought that would be like a good way to add value by having this extra tool. And to be honest, I've never actually used a SIM card eject. Like I never change out my SIM cards, but I'm like, I could probably use this for all kinds of stuff. Use it as a toothpick.
Our top 100 uses for SIM card eject tools will be coming out very soon, I'm sure.
That's right. So I'm sure you can think of lots of uses for this, but if not, it's just kind of cool. And then that got me thinking, well, there was actually, as I was like in the CAD, you can sort of see how all these parts fit together. And there was a space underneath the cable, which was perfect to fit little micro SD cards or micro SIM cards, and they just slide right in and fit right there. So they just sort of wedge in, and it holds it securely in place. And this actually, if you have a nano SIM card, like iPhone uses, and probably a lot of the newer phones, they use a nano card, which is even smaller. You just turn it sideways, and that wedges in. Yeah, it wedges in too. And so it's just fits right in there. And then when you're ready to use it, you probably have to remove the adapter, but you just pluck it out.
And the SIM eject tool, that's one of the uses for that.
You can use the eject tool just to pluck out your SD card.
If you're trying to be extra gentle with it.
So just trying to get as much functionality into this tiny little package as we could.
Well, I love the idea of having the micro SD card because I obviously do a lot of photography and video, and so the last thing that you want to do is to be in the middle of the shoot and then I gotta go home or something, it's very cool.
And you can fit either one of each or two SIM cards or two SD cards in that little spot, so it's pretty convenient. So
it's my understanding that this is it's a cable, but it's not like a charger in itself. So how do you actually use it to charge your devices?
So it doesn't have a battery or anything in it. So it's just a cable, but you can use it to charge or sync your devices. So if you're at the office or if you're at home, you just can plug it in. You can plug it into either one of these, or all the sort of power strips now have USB outlets in it. You can plug it in there, or even in your car. Just plug it
so anywhere that there's a USB.
But you can also keep a little power bank, and a lot of the power banks, if they're trying to maximize space, they don't come with a cable. So you just plug your cable into the power bank, and then you can also use it to recharge your power bank when you plug that in. So, and then the other thing is sometimes power banks actually do come with kind of an integrated cable, which is cool, but this one's a micro B, and it's like, if you have an iPhone, you still need an adapter. So that's why having just the extra adapter inside.
Just the adapter.
So you just use the adapter, right? Like you may not always use the cable. So there's lots of different ways to use it when you're kind of on the road, I think. And then of course, just plug it into your computer, your laptop.
And it does, and you said it's not only charging, but it syncs data too. So you can be putting music on your phone or whatever with this.
You can do whatever you need to sync your phone for.
Get new ringtones.
There's data cables, and there's power cables, and the power cables are actually a little bit thicker gauge. A lot of cheaper cables use the same 28 gauge wire for data and charging. So we use thicker gauge wire for charging. So it's ready for like a fast charge. So it's good.
And so one thing I'm kind of wondering about is originally it was just USB-A to micro USB. And then you just had the 2 adapters, one for the USB-C and one for the Lightning.
Yeah.
But we kind of changed that up.
Well, we've always wanted to do a few different versions of the cable. So like an iPhone cable, micro B, and a USB-C cable. And so, you know, those versions will be in the pipeline. But we recently added the iPhone option to the Kickstarter. So now basically on the Kickstarter, you can pick your cable, whether it's iPhone or micro B, and then you pick your different adapters to go with it. So you can sort of customize it how you would want to use it in real life. So yeah, so it's got all of those different options.
Tight. All right, Mike, so is there anything else you want to talk about with this device?
No, I think that kind of covers it. Just check it out on Kickstarter or at levergear.com.
Yeah, and now we don't know exactly when this video is coming out.
Right.
But the Kickstarter is either just wrapping up and you still have time to get the CableKit at a discount on Kickstarter, or it has just ended and you still have the ability to get a discounted CableKit on Indiegogo.
Aha, yes. So just check out the links in the video description and we'll update those.
Wherever it's available.
Best place to
find them in that description.
All right, thanks for watching. Hope you like it.
We'll see you next week.